Hello, Washim here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. Yeah, let's continue.
そんなの知らない。でも、リカちゃんのあくびなら見てみたい。
Sigh.
きっとね、ふわーって。お持ち帰り。
Dear, why?
そんなに可愛いとも思いませんけど。ふわーって喉の奥まで覗けるくらいの大あくびでしたよ。リカちゃんの大あくび。
Ren is handy at times like these. I finally managed to have a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on day duty today, aren't I? I need to go water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge too, so they can immediately tell if you didn't do it right.
リカちゃんのだけじゃなく、さとこちゃんのも可愛いと思うわ。大あくび。窒息。
Wait, does Rena think that Satoko not having air is cute?
ちらっと見えた。可愛いの見えた。
You like strangling her?
さとこちゃんのあくびも可愛い。お持ち帰り。
This is ridiculous. Rena was squeezing her hands around Satoko's neck. Okay, I said like strangling. I meant more like choking. And I didn't actually mean like, I meant more like accidental. Okay, and was trying to get a look into her throat. You know, Rena is, I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censored, isn't she? Sweat. Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious. What is wrong with you? And I couldn't help but laugh. At some point the classroom had erupted into laughter too. Maybe Rena was doing it on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, let's get over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. Yes, peace of someone strangling someone. How very peaceful. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school here to share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. Wow, that's tiny. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. For this, if one was placed on day duty with someone one liked, they'd do it all for you, so it'd be cake.
悪態をついても仕方ないな。諦めて仕事を始めるか。
Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me.
兄ちゃん、倉庫裏に菜園があるだろ。だいぶくたびれかけたぞ。あそこにも水をやってあげな。
あのカレー菜園ですか？
Huh?
じゃがいもとか人参とかカレーの具しか栽培してないっていう。
Potatoes and carrots and probably the other things aren't only for curry. It's definitely the personal guarding of our curry-loving teacher. Oh, true. But making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. I mean, what flower garden? Wait, do I mean like around the entire perimeter? Oh, surely not. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlying how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed by the classroom. I don't know what happened, or how it happened rather, but Rena and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks in a circle, forming a ring, while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality, where talk of Oda's disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Satoka's whirling elbow and Ren's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight. Even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. Ah, that's my pencil box. I'll just let it happen today. I set to work, hastily watering everything, and wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it, rather. No sooner had I thought that than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too.
めんどくさいが、やらないと後でいろいろと不利益なことがありそうな気がする。
Yeah, I think she won't be all that happy if her curry making ingredients are gone. She'll be in a very bad mood. I gave up, filled the can with water again, and hid it behind the warehouse. This was a place students didn't like to go. It was always damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pill bugs being around. Oh. So when I ran across her in a place like that, I was surprised.
リカちゃんか。驚かせるなよ。
Rika-chan was just standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika-chan didn't even seem to react to my appearance.
リカちゃん
Finally, she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. Yeah. Have we seen that before? Actually, I think we have. Like later on. Anyway, there was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. There were blades of grass stuck in her hair too, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen to the ground.
リカちゃんひょっとして怪我したのか転んだとか
違うのですよ。
Were you crying?
違うのです。
Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though.
何があったんだまさか倉庫の屋根の上で昼寝とかしてて落ちたとか
僕のことはいいのです。それよりも、圭一に聞きたいことがあるのです。
Hang on, wait, why are the windows boarded up? Was it like that before and I just didn't notice? Or is this recent? Ooh. Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I couldn't run from the questions she was about to ask. I shuddered.
俺になんだよ
She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It's going to be the same questions as before, isn't it? It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out from my own eyes, without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers.
圭一、お祭りの晩に何か悪いことをしましたか？
My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up from my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain.
圭一、本当に覚えはありませんか？
Wait. Is she perhaps referring to times where he said, I don't remember what happened? So it's or is it just by itself? I don't know. My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Because he didn't say he didn't remember. He just didn't answer. So, I don't know. Anyway, Mion asked me, Oi-san asked me, Shion asked me, and now Rika-chan was asking me. We thought nobody knew about what we did last night, but in fact, everyone knew. They all knew, and they came to ask me. Again and again, until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, didn't Tomitake-san and Takano-san's deaths prove it?
Keiichi?
How should I respond? We never should have entered the forbidden storehouse, and even though I regretted it so much, was she saying it wasn't enough? However, I had all but decided what I was going to say.
俺もそこが悪いからな。悪いことの覚えが多すぎて見当がつかないよ。
Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
変なことを聞いてごめんなさいなのです。忘れてくださいなのですよ。
She said, smiling her usual smile. Then, tap, 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 she went running off as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could hear her accusing me. I could feel her accusing me.
リカちゃん。
If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did.
なあ、リカちゃん。
はいなのです。
If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it. I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything. Really? Still, Tomitake-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit to what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180, as if flipping a switch. I mean, we've seen some others flip switches like that. That would make sense. Rika-chan was a shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oi-san? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi, my butter. If you really are sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate, given the crazy way Tomitake-san and Takano-san died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into big droplets of sweat, which began to fall.
Keiichi?
Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
ケイイチが何を悩んでいるのか、僕にはよくわからないのです。
I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat.
境内の裏を少し行ったところに大きな倉庫があるのをご存知ですか？西宮殿と言いますです。
My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a coercive way at all.
お祭りの晩、その西宮殿に猫さんが入り込んだのだそうです。
猫？
はい、猫さんです。にゃーにゃーなのです。
Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me.
猫さんは前から細具殿の中を探検してみたいと思っていました。
So the cat is Takano-san?
でも僕が意地悪をして中を見せてあげなかったのです。なので、祭りの夜
Or Shion, maybe.
猫さんは我慢できなくなって中に入ってみましたのです。
The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takano-san. Oh wait, was it supposed to be me? Yep. If the cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, no. I think it might be Shion, but I think Takano. I don't know. I don't think it's you.
実は中には猫さんが怖がるものがたくさんあったのです。
I think Shion. Yeah. Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me.
猫さんはびっくり仰天。一目散に逃げ出してガタガタブルブルニャーニャーで大変なのです。
Maybe it is him as well.
その猫が誰だって言うんだ。
猫さんは猫さんです。にゃーにゃー。
Oh, Rika's too cute. Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me.
リカちゃん、頼む。教えてくれ。その猫さんはこれからどうしたらいい？
Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat.
猫さんは猫さんですから、にゃーにゃー泣いてるだけで大丈夫ですよ。
Huh.
大丈夫って、そんないい加減な。
にゃーにゃー泣いてるだけではダメなのですか？
Jeez, Rika-chan and I have to put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I'd already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice, like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now, that's enough.
泣いてるだけじゃダメなんだ。猫さんがいたずら心で忍び込んだのを。
犬さん。
Oops, I cut that off. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside.
そうだ。犬さんなんだ。猫さんのところへ代わる代わるやってきて、忍び込んだだろうって問いただしてくるんだ。
Oh, it actually seemed genuinely sad. After I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I'd already noticed her eyes darkening.
リカちゃん。
The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
大丈夫ですよ。猫さんは僕が守ってあげます。
Huh? Huh? I thought for a moment that I'd misheard those words, so dependable they were.
猫さんはとても怖がっていますが、本当はそんなに大変なことではないのです。何匹かの犬さんがきっと勘違いしてるだけなのだと思います。
そんなに大変なことじゃないって。
猫さんの心配しすぎなのです。僕がきっと何とかしてあげますですよ。
Rika-chan will do something about it? I didn't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable.
ちょっと大変ですけど頑張りますですよ。ファイト、オーなの のです。
Yeah. She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Yuki-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. He said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing?
本当にリカちゃんで大丈夫なのか？
僕が頑張らないと犬さんも大変なことになってしまうかもしれないのです。
I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She'd been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and to leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head and smiled. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry.
ごめん。猫さんも本当にちょっとしたいたずらのつもりだったんだ。こんなことになるなんて全然。
猫さんは臆病すぎです。だから見せたくなかったのです。
She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they'd made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it?
リカちゃん、その猫さんはどうなるんだろう。忍び込んだ2匹の猫さんがあの晩に。
I'd heard Tomitake-san and Takano-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it.
富武と高野ですか？
I gave a sudden mention of actual names, though it's weird to do that at this point.
忘れると良いのです。
Easier said than done. Zip. My spine froze again.
忘れる？
はい。あの二人のことを思い出すことは、圭一にとって良くないことなのです。考えれば考えるほど怖くなるだけです。
That alone is scary.
だから早く忘れた方がいいのです。
She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all.
どこで聞いたかわかりませんが、きれいさっぱりお風呂でゴシゴシするみたいに忘れちゃうと良いのですよ。
忘れるって言ったって、リカちゃんは知ってるんだろう。あの二人がどういう死に方を。
どんな死に方をしても、それは圭一とは関係のないことなのです。
Were they decided before the festival? Maybe? Before they did anything? Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. Forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I will help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me.
シオンはあいつはどうなるんだ？
It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her, keep anything from her at this point.
姉妹猫の妹ですか？にゃーにゃー。
The cats.
そうだ、妹猫だ。
Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
姉猫は怒ってます。妹猫が悪いことをしたので、とても怒ってます。
姉猫って。
That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
圭一、姉猫はとても機嫌が悪いです。
Really?
しばらくの間、そっとしてあげてほしいなのです。
Okay. Not in a good mood. Those words rather sent a shiver through me. Mion was mad. But we entered the ritual storehouse.
今日から部活はなしにしましょう。
なんでだよ。
From now on or for now?
そっとしてあげてほしいからなのです。
Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her, just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano-san and Tomitaka-san and what I did that night. Yep, back to class. You still need to water the curry garden though, don't you?
じゃあ校舎に戻ろうか。
ケイチ、
As if she'd noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to
勘
stop me.
違いの犬さんが猫さんに噛みつこうとしたら知らせてくださいね。
Misunderstanding dog? She put it in such a cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one.
勘違いの犬さんってなんだ。
A dog, obviously. Woof woof.
村長を噛んだ犬さんです。
Oh.
どうして村長を噛んだのか僕にはわかりません。
Huh. Huh. Now that seems important. Phew.
噛むならいたずら猫さんを先に噛むはずなのにです。
Which one's the trickster cat? The flow of blood on my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika-chan had admitted it. The sacrifices of that terrible calamity. She had admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This, I didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear. I nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
ごめんなさいなのです。猫さんが怖がっているのにまた怖がるようなことを言ってしまいました。ごめんなさいなのです。
Rika-chan bowed so quickly, it looked like her head had been pulled downwards. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached out her hand to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking.
ごめん。
Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. Running it like that? What about the curry garden? Hello, curry garden? No? That day Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up to club activities, so she suggested we don't bother. There's always a few toes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Ren and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remembered Rika-chan's words. Quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll leave it off here for today. It's not quite the full 30 minutes, but oh well. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.